Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Brown King Production. I am Nathaniel Thomas Jr. coming to you, as I always say, from my apartment here in Columbus, Georgia. It is an amazing Sunday, a great day to be able to wake up and be alive, a great day to be seen and not viewed. I am here today with one of my fur babies. This is Marley, if you guys can see it. He's the oldest out of all our three dogs that we have. He is, and his brother actually will be turning 3 years old next month. So Marley is fiercely loyal to me. He imprinted on me when I first got him about 3 years ago. I got him and his brother from a breeder in Philly, and he is a Maltese. As I said, he's as you see in my arm, he's a big baby. All of them are a big baby, but Marley is the one that I would say next to Grace is the closest to me. He's always by my side, always near me. He's getting a little older and getting a little moodier now. Like if he don't want to be picked up, he'll growl in a minute. Or he's even more like just stuck to me or stuck to Charles. But he is my big boy. He is I would say I did spoil him. I would admit I spoiled him and Ziggy, but he got spoiled the most. Um, he's the leader of the pack, the alpha male next to me and Charles. So he will be the one that would be the closest to us. Like if we're sitting on the sofa together, he will be the one closer to us, and then Grace just kind of do whatever she want to do. She's the queen of the house, but she kind of does her thing. But he is a amazing dog, amazing dog. I'm trying to turn him around so you guys can see him. Now, like I said, he's 3 years old. Um, Weighs probably about, I gotta get him weighed, but last time I weighed him, he was right around like 7 or 8 pounds. For a Maltese, that's pretty big. I do all of the dogs grooming myself, cutting the nails, giving them baths, all that stuff. I do that myself. I've actually always done that because when I got Marley and Ziggy, we were in the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah, we were in the beginning. It was March of 2020. We were right in the beginning. So they have been trained in the house, potty trained, crate trained, pen trained, all of that. They don't go outside to use the bathroom. They actually use it inside. We have like these big recyclable pads that they use. Marley does not do grass at all. Like you see, he's all white. He does not like the feel of it, the smell of it, the touch of it, or anything. Like literally, if I take him outside off the patio to like grass or something, he's gonna stay on the patio on the cement, but he's not gonna fool with grass at all. So they're really spoiled. But this, actually, the reason why I bought Marley in here, Marley is definitely someone. When I say someone, one of my fur babies that really, really, really um, been with me the longest, been with me the closest. When I was my sickest, Marley and Ziggy was there. And Marley would do things no matter what. He will always get in my face, get close to me. If he wasn't near my face or licking on my lips, he was in my arms. He fiercely loyal. He is someone that helped taught me what unconditional love is all about. And actually that is the topic that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I know it's February. First of all, happy Black History Month to everyone. A really amazing time for us as people of color to really spend more time in getting to know about what makes us so amazing as people, as Black people. There's so much rich history with us, in us, that I use this time, and not only this time, but if I can find anything to help me understand my culture, my people even more, I'm all about that. Because there's a part that we play in the grand scheme of things, and when we don't know how important we are or where we came from and what brought us to where we are today and how we're going to be able to move forward in the future, we do ourselves a disservice. I think that when it comes to us, a lot of time it's just we don't know. We don't take the time to know. Um, the black family dynamic has changed so much in the last 5, 10 years that we don't have those big mamas and papas and grandma and grandpa to share those stories with us, those struggle stories. Not only those struggle stories, tell us about our history. Excuse me, Maura. Tell us about our history. And we're missing so much. When I look at my nephews, my nieces and nephews, and my great nephew that I have now, yes, I have a great nephew. Um, I make time when I see them and talk to them and let them know that ask your mom, ask your dad, or ask me about us. Because if you sit and wait for people to tell you who you are, um, I look at BET to now. BET, Black Entertainment Television, it is so not who we are and what we are as a people. It is a company Viacom that is owned by Caucasian people trying to tell us what our image is or what image we should put out. When I look at the media today, especially for black gay men, I'm kind of sad at what I see because that is not a true representation of all of us. And the representation is the most important because what we put out there, what image we have in this world and how we carry ourselves is how people think they can treat us. Because I do believe that if you, the image that you put out there, if you walk like a king or a queen, you're going to demand respect. A certain way that people talk to you, a certain way that people handle you. But when you put yourself out there as like a, I'm just gonna say it like a thought or just like an Instagram thirsty piece, people are gonna perceive you and handle you that way. But you get to control that narrative. But when it comes to our history, us as a people, we need to own that even more. Don't feel black or don't feel celebrate your blackness for Black History Month. That's something I do 364 a year. I don't wait for that day or that month for me to sit here and say Black Power or stand in my blackness or who I am as a person. That's something we should demand on a daily basis. If you do not see yourself represented in where you are, change it. I've always been an activist. Even when I was in high school, even when I was in high school, I was always that person in grade school who was that one black person that was in the room or at the table. I didn't like it, but I made sure that I represented my people, myself, because I felt like I deserved to be at that table or in that room. And if it wasn't space for me, I made it. During this time, when I look at and celebrate all of the amazing things that we have done and contributed to this world, I cringe sometimes because I'm still asking myself, what are we doing? What are we doing for the movement? What are we doing for ourselves? What are we doing for the legacy that we're leaving for our younger kids? Because we can't expect them to do it all. They gotta have a strip. They gotta have a character. They gotta have leadership to pull from to help them be able to stand in who they are and celebrate that as a daily basis. Because we can't wait for somebody else to tell us how important, how amazing, how courageous, how we help form the America that we have today. When I lived in DC and in Baltimore, I enjoyed it because I got to see the monuments. I got to walk to work through the monuments. I got to come home through the monuments, by the White House. All of that was my neighborhood. I celebrated it because I knew who built it. I knew those craftsmen, them slaves that built and made the Capitol what it is today. The United States what it is today. I celebrate that because that lets me know where I came from as a people. It made me able to celebrate. Even though all the things that we're going through today, I'm still able to look and see what our ancestors did. What our ancestors were able to gather on the Washington Monument and ask for civil rights and fight for civil rights. When I touched that cold marble on the monuments, I was like, One of my people, one of our people did that. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. And now that I'm back here in the South, in the deep South, in Georgia, I'm able to still celebrate and see what we can do when we gather together and stand up for ourselves and stand up for what we want um, in return. Because at the end of the day, I've always said, no one can tell your story better than you. Control your narrative. Stand up for yourself. Speak out for yourself. We're quick to tell you what some celebrity is doing and how much they're making and what big deal they closed or what, following they have on social media. I think we need to have that same energy, that same drive, that same tenacity for ourselves and for our people. Because I do think black people are truly amazing. Truly amazing. Even if I wasn't a black man, I would be like, these people have been through everything. Everything. Here in these United States and abroad. And we're still here. We are still here. I love an amazing story. I love a conquering spirit. I love a survival story of an individual or a group of people who went through what they went through, but they're still here in spite of. Still here. We need to take the time to really celebrate that. We need to take the time and have that conversation with our kids and know that all the amazing inventions and things that we did to bring us to where we are today. And we can't just rest there. There's more work for us to do. More work for us to do. The freedoms, the privileges, the things that we have today was suffered and beaten out of our ancestors. So the fact that I'm able to sit here in a place in Columbus, Georgia, which was not too far from Alabama, few with racism. I grew up in this area, so I know this area. I've been called the N-word, but I was always taught it's not matter what you're called, it's what you answer to. And I knew I wasn't that person that they were calling me. I remember being 17, 16 years old, receiving death threats because I changed a system in my community that was unheard of. I became the first male cheerleader of a high school in rural Alabama. My senior year, I had to have some state troopers follow me everywhere I went because I changed the narrative. I changed what was the status quo. My mom was very adamant with the school board and with the principal. Anything happened to my brown child, I will own this school. She made the promise to them. They knew that all of this was done behind closed doors. I didn't know this till I got older. Only thing I wanted to do was cheer and dance. And I didn't think only a white girl in that area could do that. I got tired of seeing what I saw. 70% white, 30, 40%, 60% white, 40% black. And whatever the status quo was the status quo. I knew for me to get up out of high school and out of the South, I had to use what God gave me. That was my talent of dancing and commanding a room and cheering. And it did. It ultimately did. But I had to think outside myself. I couldn't just think what would be best for me. I wanted to see some brown Latino people of color cheering and dancing and all that. But that wasn't what I had during that time in 1995, 96. So looking back at it now, I thank God for giving me the strength, the talent that He gave me to do what I did back then. Later on, have they had cheerleaders, male cheerleaders and all that? Yes. What you see today in the entertainment industry and all of these NFL games and college games and high school games was a lot of work that was done before you saw it today. It wasn't always like that. A guy couldn't cheer and dance and turn flips and all of that stuff and cheer for their team the way that they're doing now. There was a lot of work that had to be done in the darkness, in the quietness. Just like where we are today as a people. There was a lot of work that had to be done. A lot of blood, sweat, tears, sacrifices, life being lost, lynchings in Times Square for people to see. They would dress up on Sundays and see lynchings. I remember growing up in Alabama at 12 o'clock. I knew on the weekends, that there were going to be somebody executed in Alabama, and the majority of the time it was a black man or black person. What I'm saying to you now is we got to stop being okay with what we see in front of us. We have to change that. We got to change that narrative. What we see a lot of time in our community is what we allow to happen. I refuse to exist, pay taxes, pay bills, be a part of a community that I do not see my voice, my face represented in. I refuse to do that. Like I said, I've been an activist my whole life. Receiving death threats, people telling me, oh, the N word, or ooh, the sissy, the faggot, and all that stuff. I got all of that. Received all of it. Didn't change what I was going to do. I was going to do it anyway. Because I was raised around old people. And one thing about older people, I love old people, I have an old soul. They will always tell you, baby, this is the way it's been done. This is the way it's happening now. But one day it's going to change. One day that bottom step is going to rise up to be that top step. And one day that top step going to have to go down to the bottom. Be very particular on how you treat people on your way up and on your way down, because you're going to need them again. I learned that, and I remember that, and I keep that to me to this day. Always be humble. Always know that there's another way of doing something. Always know there's a different point of view. Just because you see what is in front of you, change the picture, change the setting. But you have to be willing to be uncomfortable with what's going on. We can apply that in some of everything in our life. Marley, you really into this, aren't you? Aren't you? Like I said, my lost fierce companion, Mr. Marley. But we have to be uncomfortable with what we see going on and be willing to change things. When I think about the CRT thing that is going on in Florida with DeSantis, people can only do to you what you allow them to do. If we get mad, furious as hell, start changing things, the people in Florida, not only the people in Florida, but the people outside of Florida, we need to be standing up talking about this, because they're already, what they're teaching about Black history in our schools is already limited, watered down version. We as a community, we as a family, we as a group of people have to start controlling that narrative. We got to start teaching our kids at home. And there's more people that shaped Black history other than Dr. King, other than Frederick Douglass, other than Harriet Tubman. I'm not knocking down what they did, but the first thing you start hearing about when you say Black history is those 2, 3, 4 people. There's so many people. I want you guys to use your cell phone, Google inventions in the United States, Black inventors in the United States. There's a plethora of people who have helped shape what we have done in this country. The sanitary napkin, invented by a Black woman. The sanitary napkin. Madam C.J. Walker wasn't the first Black female millionaire in the United States. We use our phones for so much. Ask TikTok, ask Google. You can look it up and see it. But we need to start controlling the narrative and start teaching our children more about what we've done in this country. When I was taking my history courses in college, I was at West Georgia. Now I think it's West Georgia State University in Carrollton, Georgia. I remember one of my history classes, African American history class, it was a large class, like a class of close to about 45, 50 people. I could literally count all of the people, Black people that was in that class. It wasn't no more than probably a handful of us. So that means there were close to about 40 people in that class that was not Black. The point I'm making is the world is studying us. Non-Black people are studying us. But we as Black people are not studying and owning our narrative enough. Because if we were, what is happening in the world would not be happening. I'm not saying you need to go out and start shooting and massacring people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we need to do more studying about ourselves. Because when you know yourself, Like I said in the beginning, you would demand a respect, a transaction, a conversation that you get to control. Because the way it's going now, we have people telling us what black looks like, what black lives matter. We have people telling us that. We shouldn't have to have a movement where we say Black Lives Matter chanted and donate money to individuals who are supposed to be heading the organization they end up spending buying $1 million homes in California. We need to control our narrative. When I think of things like Langston Hughes, E.D. Du Bois, things that they did in their lifetime to change the moment, to change the society, it baffles me. But we have that same power, that same tenacity, that same education, but what we don't have is guts to do it. So I challenge all of us. If you don't like what you see, if you don't feel like you're being represented in your community that you're in, change it. If you don't like the politicians that we have representing us in our area, stand up and change it. If we want Black Lives, if we want CRT to be taught in our school systems, push forward. We get to select who's on the school board. Governors shouldn't have to get to tell us what we can and cannot do in our states. If you want your kids to know more about what's going on than to be able to rap or be able to sing every Beyonce or Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion song, you need to make them start studying, learning more about our history and who we are and what we've done and how we have shaped this country to what it is. Because I tell you one thing, when you take black out of the equation, the United States of America would not exist. It would not be what it is today. When you take black out of the equation, when you take all of those years of sacrifice and building and making and constructing and inventing and just being black all by itself out of the equation, this would be a very, very boring country. State. 50-something states. Boring. We shaped and made it to what it is today. We did the work. We did the work. We were pulled from a country that we were born and raised. And our ancestors in Africa gave us away, sold us away for power and for land and for them to stay on the continent of Africa. Bought here on a land that we didn't know anything about. And a lot of us was here before even the indigenous people was here, blended in, mixed with them, everything. The point I'm making is when they say go back to Africa, baby, this is our land. Go back and check your history. Go back and check your history. And at the end of the day, people always, any person that was not black that ever challenged me or came against me, I always let them know, when I die, I stay this color I am. I may get a little dark. But when you die, they got to put you in the ground in 3 days. Why do they do that? Because you're going to turn a color that was your original. We are the pattern. Everything after us is a copy of. When I feel like I'm in a room where my blackness or me as a person is not being heard and not being celebrated and not having a room at the table, I chuckle and laugh when I think about that. I understand that. If I was not me, was not this color, I understand why some people are threatened. I understand. I do. If I turn black, when I died, if I turned black in 3 days, I'd be mad too. But a forward thinker, a person who have love in their heart, a person that understands that all of that make up these United States is a vast, diverse group of people. We are all, when I think about my family tree and start going through my family tree, there's black in there, but baby, there's so many other races that are in there as well. White, Indian, all of that. And I have to celebrate that, because if I hate that part of me, I hate myself. And if I have hate in my heart, things that, the fascist things, the communist things that you see happening in these America right now, capitalistic things that you see is coming from a place of hate, fear, and people trying to hold power and hold control. They know what power black people have. They know what black people are capable of doing, but we as black people do not know. We have lost that. We put our emphasis on things that doesn't mean a hill of bean. A lot of us wear our wealth on our backs and don't understand the value of owning land, having things, owning things, things with your name on it. I'm glad my mom and my grandfather taught me that, and the thing is very important for you to have your name on stuff. Because with that name gives you power. With that power gives you things to leverage and control. You run around here with, a $600, $1,000 coat or shirt on your back, it has no value. Me working in the retail industry, knowing how much that stuff costs, how much it took for the owner and the brand to get it, and what they were charging already had a 500 to 1,000% markup on it. And I'm running around here trying to stress myself out and trying to have it. It's crazy as hell. But when it comes to owning things, I make sure I put my name on a lot of stuff. I make sure I save my money and buy things outright so I can own it and have been owning it for years. I've learned wealth doesn't make noise. It's very quiet. Very quiet. When you got people trying to show you what they got, they ain't got shit. They ain't got shit. True wealth is quiet. True wealth is quiet. When you look at the wealthy people, and it's not so much about the wealthy people, I don't want to put emphasis on being wealthy. I want to put emphasis on being an entrepreneur, owning things and having things. I make a pledge to myself, anytime I see someone of color doing something positive, I do my best to support them. Because I, as a business owner, I, as an entrepreneur, I am someone who have went out there and started things with nothing. And it wasn't my own people that was supporting me. It was people that was not my color. And we have to do better with that. Oh, well, I'm not going to pay that high price for that body butter when I can go and get some 3 for $20. Okay, well, you supporting a competitor. You're supporting a brand that does nothing for your community, for your people. So if I have to go buy a body butter that's $20 from somebody that's a person of color, that has spent time in their kitchen or in their workshop making that up, that's all natural, and that knows about my brown skin, I would go for that person. I would bet on that person. And we as people of color, black people, we are the #1 consumer in this country. Why do a lot of us rent? Not own, rent. So if a landlord come and move the rent up, let's say 5%, 10%, 15%, we'll pay it because we don't trust ourselves enough to bet on ourselves and go get in a program or rent to own program or go save your money, save those returns, tax returns, and not take so many vacations and stack that money and use that money as a down deposit to have your own piece of land in these United States. Because what it's going to come down to, people, is all about land. Well, nobody in my family owned anything. Well, that's a generational curse that has been put in your family since slavery. Because I tell you one thing, those people in my family that own things, keeps them. And those that don't have nothing owned are always going to be a rentee, a borrower. Oh, well, I ain't got nowhere to go. My rent is too much. My rent is $3,000. Well, baby, my mortgage ain't. Or the mortgage that I had, because I had paid the mortgage off. I owns that outright, been owning it. Paid cash for it, never had a mortgage on it. So people, what I'm saying to you is, get to investing in yourself. Get to buying things of your own. We're running around here paying $700, $800 for car payments. Baby, don't you know that car in so many years, the price have depreciated. Get you something that's going to get you to point A and point B, because who you trying to impress is not going to be there for you when you get kicked out of your apartment or you get kicked out of not being able to pay your mortgage on time. I've seen a lot of people when I lived in Atlanta. Baby, they ate out every night. They were ballers. Drove the BMWs, the Mercedes. And you know, when I think about it, I've seen more of those cars on the side of the road than I've seen the Honda. The point I'm making is, you need to start investing and betting on yourself and not that 18-inch or that 22-inch hair you got. Because let me tell you something. That was bought wholesale. The person that bought that did not pay what you paid. They probably paid $1 for that bundle, and you sitting up there paying $300, $400, $500. Then you got to find somebody to put the hair in your head. And them Jordans that you got, you think Mike Jordan gonna sit there and tell you, "Ooh, stop buying Jordans, stop buying Jordans"? No, he's still building his empire up off of us running around here gonna have the latest pair of Jordans or all the Jordans. That money that we use on them Jordans, we should have been putting in an account, saving it, so we can go have a down deposit and pay that 10% on us a new home. Or better yet, find you a fixer-upper. We are great at fixing up somebody else's shit and not fixing up and investing our own. We're not. And you don't have to listen to me. You don't. But if you sit here and pay attention, Google Bill Gates and what Bill Gates been doing. Bill Gates been silently buying up land all over this country. Why? Because there's something that's going to be coming. That land is going to be very valuable. Some of us sitting up in a house or apartment and it's our mamas or our daddy and them. Or we just sitting up here robbing Peter to pay Paul, paying paycheck to paycheck, and we don't own or have anything. Look at your local courthouses. Look at your local banks. These banks are not meant to have houses, but they will seize yours if you don't pay them note on it. Start looking at those first of the month. Houses being auctioned off. Why can't you go buy your house? Or start your business, a brick and mortar business, or an online business, or a business from home that has your name on it, so you'll be able to leverage that to be able to get loans and do things that you want to do for yourself. Black people, we really need to start thinking what is going to be good for me 5, 10, 15 years from now. Because what I'm doing today at 45 years old, I'm not going to be able to do that 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm going to get old. My tenacity, my get up and go to work every day and talk about COVID and walk people through what they need to do for COVID, I'm not going to have that desire in my heart. What is my backup plan? And then my backup plan need to have a backup plan. I better start investing in some stuff, because right now, high ticket is going to be land. You hear it in here first. Start buying you up an acre or 2 or 3 up. Start buying it. Start owning some things. Put your mobile home on it. Put yourself on it. Put you and your family on it. Start owning that stuff together. We're quick to go take our money to the casino. We're quick to go take a bet online betting. We're quick to go to the convenience store and buy lottery tickets. Invest in yourself. Marley, you okay? You're not going to sleep? Okay, you're good. Invest in yourself. Invest in ourselves. Because I tell you one thing. Me sitting up here waiting for somebody to come and give me something and do something for me and invest in me and my brand or what I'm trying to do. If I sit there and wait for somebody to do that, I would be dead in the grave. I hang around individuals who are like-minded like me. I hang around individuals that have property, own property, been owning property, buying land, doing things for themselves. And you did not hear me say, go ask anybody for a loan. First, before you do that, have some money saved. People will invest in you when you have first invested in yourself. If you ain't invested in yourself, how in the hell you gonna get somebody else to invest in you? Oh, you know, if you give me $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to start up, I can go on and do this. Baby, Madam C.J. Walker did not wait for nobody to invest in her. She did it herself. She took what she knew. Hair care, nappy-headed women, people, and women want to have their hair straight and looking good or conditioned and taken care of. Her family owned a lot of land. She took what she had and leveraged it and made something out of it. Her practices, her products are still being used today. Today. And if you go to a beauty supply store, not one person of color owns those stores. But the number one consumer is black females. We need to start changing the narrative on that. We need to start getting that hair ourselves. We need to start making that product, that hair loss product in our kitchen and leveraging that and selling it to people. Start off small and work your way up. If you want to know about business, I've spent 25, 30 years in business. And I learned from those big brands that's been doing very well off of us and do shit to support us. You think they were going to teach us how to be business people? No. I learned everything. I worked my way up from a sales associate all the way up to an area manager in business. I opened and closed stores when I left retail. They would tell me, hey, Nathaniel, we want to have a store in Timbuktu. They will put me on the ground in that store on that red dirt, or when it's just woods 6 months ahead of that. I would get that store open. I would get it from start to finish, project manage it all the way out. And once the store opened, we hired the employee. The first sale came in. We made the first sale for the first day. I was back on the plane going back to my home store, checking on it, because I knew within a month or two, I had to be back on the road, opening up another store. So when it comes to business, stay around those who know about it. Those who start and finish and kept going. And let me tell you something, a failure is just a lesson for you to learn, to not do it next time, or to do better, or not cut corners, or not be cheap on starting a business, or better yet, get around people or intern for people that you can learn it on the free version, meaning you be their assistant. So as you're their assistant, you're learning how to do things, because ultimately you want to go run your own one day. I don't know about you guys. I like getting paid. I like having money. But as I get older, I want to work for myself. I want to be my own boss. I want to take care and be in control of myself. I don't want to be answering to anybody. I want people to come and ask me questions and I can let them know, we don't do that. We don't do that for this reason. We don't cut corner in business, because cutting corner is going to end up costing you in the long run. Pay. Don't get the free version every time. You may have to pay $3.99 to get this version of a software or something, because we're going to have to pay for something. And that paying going to come from our saving. What have we saved? Because a lot of time a black and brown person cannot walk up into a bank and ask, can I get a loan? As our non-black people do. We can't do that. And if we do walk into a bank, we got to have some money where they say, ooh, I see that you have, what's up, Marley? Oh, he heard a noise. And they see us doing something or have something, and they say, okay, Nathaniel, I see you already invested, 20% into the business. Yeah, we can come in and help you. You can have an account here with us, a business account and business credit cards or whatnot. As long as you keep this amount in this account and keep building as you're going, we will be a partner with you. But us as black people, we got to stop being scared. We got to stop not having no guts. I remember when I was in band in high school, I was in band for 4 years. My band director had this quote over in his office on the wall. Marty, why you licking my ears, baby? And it said, no guts, no glory. And I believe that. I believe that, because if you don't have no guts to do something and be willing to do something, somebody's not going to sit there and open it up and give it to you. They're not going to open the candy shop up to you and get it to you. These are the little wafers. The dogs love them. They love these. I'm just opening up one for him, so you're going to see him bust it down. But we have to be willing to be that person for ourselves. If you want to start a church, start your church. If you got a calling on your life and you want to start a church, start a church. Start small and work your way up. If you want to start a fashion business, a clothing store, do it. Do your research. Go and interview people and talk to people who have a business, or one that started and one that failed. That way you will know what you need to do. Whatever they did, do the opposite. Whatever works best for you. Write it down. Create a business plan. What you want your target audience to be. What are you going to start with? And you can start things and do things with no money. You can. But do your research. Please do your research. I am not going to keep you guys as long as I normally do, but I will tell you guys, thank you guys for all of the prayers, the love that you've shown to me as I've been sick. I'm doing better. As you see, I'm back to my feisty, get in your butt kind of self, because I believe that if we don't hold each other accountable and call each other out, no one else will. And I want to say, go on working and saying, talking about love and talking about the entrepreneur and ownership spirit. I am super, super proud of Rihanna the Super Bowl. I'm proud of her, because I'm gonna tell you why I'm proud of her. I'm always proud of people who are doing things on their own. She's a billionaire. self-made billionaire, amazing Fendi Cosmetics line, amazing Savage underwear line for both men and women, all sizes, love it, have many pairs of it. Um, Owning her own music catalog, being a mom, becoming a mom again, being a brand, being a force, being a boss. I am so freaking proud of her. So freaking proud of her. I love to see us kill it. I do. It excites me because let me tell you something. She gave us a lot of firsts. First billionaire to perform at a Super Bowl. First time pregnant woman performing. Now let me tell you guys something. Yes, a lot of people have said there, oh, she wasn't singing live. Oh, it wasn't lackluster. It wasn't this. Let me ask you something. Could you get your ass up there and do what she did? Are you a billionaire? Did you just have a baby and pregnant again? Do you have a cosmetic line that you branded yourself and made? Live shows, amazing shows. Did you do any of that? Because I'm gonna tell you something, I don't have all of that under my resume, but I tell you something, when I see somebody do it, I celebrate their motherfucking ass. Because that shit is hot, that shit is powerful, that shit is making me wanna go harder in what I'm doing. Because when I see her and people like her doing it, it lets me know that it's possible. It is possible. But we have to be willing to do it. But we're quick to sit there and tell somebody, oh yes, Marley. Now guys, I didn't tell you about Marley. Marley is very high strung. He is the whiny one out of everything. He want to be held and cuddled. As you see, any little noise, they are very sensitive to. And he just been, like I said, 3-year-olds. This is my 3-year-old spoiled baby boy. Spoiled as I don't know what. Now, when I do this for them, him and Ziggy, this gives them comfort. Whenever they were upset or scared or nursed, when I was nursing them when they were small or whatnot, I would put them up here and burp them. And give him comfort. So this is why he's up here. He's comfortable now. He's good. Now Ziggy would get up here and literally walk around. Just walk around up here. Marley's a little bit bigger. He can't do all that. But as you see, he's having his little moment. He's sitting here, but he's having his moments. And actually, to let you guys know, my dogs have been my emotional support dogs since I've gotten them. That was one of the reasons why I got them. I needed that. Emotional wise for me, and they have been amazing. So that's why he's so close to me like he is. We've been through a lot together. That's another therapy that I use for myself to help keep me more of a well-rounded individual. And what I'm saying to you guys and expressing to you guys is we have to do that for ourselves. We have to do that for ourselves. We got to listen to our body, know what we're going on, know our financial situation, know our levels, know that when you go to the doctor, it's not a reaction to, instead of taking the vitamins, the supplement, working out, doing the mental check, doing the gut check, knowing your levels, knowing what you have in your possession to be able to get and purchase and do what you need to do for yourself. We need to know that because there's no one else that's going to do it for you. No one. Right, Marley? No one. But once again, when I see individual, and she's a young woman doing what she's doing, I'm so freaking proud of her and what she's doing. And like I said, I heard people say, oh, you know, people always have an opinion about something. And to me, opinions like buttholes. Everybody got one. Everybody got one. But when it comes to what I'm doing for myself, I got to make the best informed decision for me. But when I see what I saw Super Bowl, I was so proud of her. Still proud of her. Doing what she's doing, commanding that stage, on that stage. Because I'm going to tell you something, there wasn't nobody out there but her. She did not have to bring boo-boo and food. She had her dancers, all of her dancers. She was going up and down the levels. I was like blown away. I loved it. So if you say I'm a fan of Rihanna, I'm a fan of anybody that is crushing it. That are making some firsts happen. I love meeting people like that because that means that nobody was doing what you was doing until you came and did it. And not just did it, but you ate it. You ate it for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. Proud of her. And anyone else out there that is trying to do something, want to do something, those who are doing it, I'm proud of you. Keep doing it. Keep killing it. Because I would not be where I am today if I stayed in the audience like everybody else. No, I'm not a talker. I'm an action person. I like to do it. I like to get dirty. I like to sweat. I like to have the guts and the glory to go around to it. Because when I succeed and it done and it happens, I'm proud of myself. Thank you, God, for making it happen. Thank you, God, for giving me the strength, the knowledge, the fortitude, the gut to do this shit. Because that is what I'm here for. All that talking and hoping and praying and excuse me, when my income tax come in, or when I get out this bad relationship, or if my husband believed in me, if my wife gave me enough courage to do it, I would have done it. No, do it. If you're gonna write a book, write it. People like myself still read books. Barnes and Noble still have books on their shelf. Books A Million still have books on their shelf. Amazon carry many books, love books. But we got to be willing to get out of our comfort zone, our safe space, that wacky shit is okay space, and go out and do some things, change some things. That was a thing that Charles told me that he loved about me, when many things that he loved about me, but he said, you know something, you go out there and make it happen. Damn right. Damn right. Every day, any chance I get, it can always, there's another way to do it. Not saying my way is the highway or my way is the right way, but I tell you one thing, when I want something to have my spirit, my energy into it, I go out there and do that shit. I go out there and do it. There's not anyone that I can't talk to. There's not anyone that make me feel small in who I am as a person. Because I know who I am and whose I am and what I can bring to the table and what I can do. And no one can do that better than me, baby. Nobody. I hope this is giving you guys some courage. I hope this has given you space to get up and do what you need to do. And like I always say, research it first. Research it first. Don't tell your dream to everybody. Pray on it. Write it down. Study it. Make your vision board. Have some steps. Who are going to be the players that's going to help you do what you need to do? Or if it's all you, it's all you. You got to do it. And everybody get the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. You're not working all the time. If you get that job all that you got, okay, it's not yours. Your name is not on the company's door. Your name is not on the letterhead. Your name is not on your paycheck. And I like having my name on the paycheck. I don't know about you guys. When I see my name in the middle of the check, and I see my name at the top of the check, and I have signed the check, or it's coming out my business account, oh, I love that, y'all. Y'all just don't know what that, that does something to me. And if you ain't had that in your life, baby, that's the best thing. That is the best thing. That's one of those things where you just sit there and say, God be the glory. Because I love that. And I understand that's not for everybody. Some people are not meant to be the owner, the creator, the boss. Everybody's not meant to be that. It can only be one Rihanna. But what she doing, baby, she killing it. She eating it alive. I'm so proud of her. That performance, what she did, don't you know she had to pay them people out of her pockets? That didn't come out of her mama and them. That didn't come out of her PPP loan. That came out of her pocket. That sign language interpreter that she had that was up there jamming and doing all that, that came out of her pockets. All those rehearsals and stuff, she did all that. She had to stay in Vegas for a while. She she got her Airbnb, and I think she said she was paying $85,000 a day to rent that Airbnb for the time that she was there. Now that's some ball smooth stuff. Like I said, she was not waiting for her refund check to come in to do that. She did that on her own. I'm for anybody that pull themselves up from their own bootstrap, with their own draws, and make something like that happen. When I hear of people of color, black people owning a vineyard, like they doing Lithonia, Georgia, over 20 something acres. Oh, I had to be there to celebrate them for that, and the taste of the wine that they had with a family that came together and did it. I love that stuff. Those are the kind of stories that we need to be telling, that our kids need to be hearing. You're not going to be LeBron James. I'm going to tell you something. Out of all them players and Michael Jordan's, out of all them players that are in the NBA, it can only be one. So the point I'm making is, you being you need to be the best you can be. Own you some stuff. Because if you want to get respect, and you want them non-black people to fool with you and talk to you and want to have business with you, you need to have some of y'all. We need to stop sitting up here waiting for these systems to come to help us get what we need to do. SNAP, WIG, all of that gonna do what it's gonna do. Get you through right now today. What about 3 years from now? 5 years from now? Well, if your mama got it and your big mama got it, y'all have a generational curse that is on y'all for depending on the system. Because that system will only supposed to be there temporarily to help you, to spring you to greatness. But black people, we don't even know us all by ourselves. It's luxury. Black all by itself. When you go to a funeral and you wearing all black, or you put on all black and it slims and it look good and it hit every curve for you, you don't have to add anything else to it. You may have to put your little accessories on and whatnot, your fragrance or your cologne or whatnot. But baby, black all by itself, amazing. Amazing. Truly amazing. And we don't have to sit there and wait and bow down and don't know what the political climate is going to be next presidential term or the next time we have to pick a governor. But let me tell you something. When you have and you save and you don't build something, you ain't worried about it. The care that you have to worry about ain't, it's not your care. So you got to decide, like I decided. I wanted to control my own destiny. I wanted to take more control of my time. Take my time back. I did not want to be spending my whole life working for somebody else. Did not. Do not. Still don't want it. It's a part of me, but it's not getting all my time. Have you multiple streams of income? What do you mean by that, Nathaniel? You better get you some hustles. You better get you some hustles. I've been hustling since I was a child. My mom taught me, and my grandfather taught me at an early age, anything you want in this world, you have to work for it. If you get it easy, you're going to lose it quickly. Get you something that nobody else can take away from you, and that's yours. If I want to make extra money, I cut yards. I did extra chores. And when I got me a part-time job, I have been working since I was 12, 13 years old. People ask me, that's a lot of things you know how to do. Yeah, because I love learning things. I love doing different things. I love being a jack of all trades. I love getting a little money here, little money here, little money here, little money here. It's not about I'm trying to be a millionaire. I just like different streams of income coming into my account. I don't know about y'all. I like that. I don't want to be sitting up there depending for the first of the month, the 15th of the month, or the first of the month, or the 20th of the month for me to live and be able to take care of myself. I like having different streams of income. That may just be for me. That may not be your thing, but I'm just telling you about me. Because when I want something, I want it. I ain't got time to be waiting. Oh, well, I got to save. Oh, I got to wait for my season to come back. Baby, if you save you enough, you can have your season every day. But it's on you. And the only thing we got to do is shift what we paying to. If you're buying a lot of clothes, you only got one behind, one set of feet, and two arms. You can only have one outfit on at a time. Buying all that other stuff, you don't need all that. Cut back. Cut back. Now what you need, get it. Like I do. Clothes-wise, I don't need to buy no clothes. I don't need to buy clothes. I got clothes in my wardrobe 3 different sizes. Since I've been sick, I've lost a lot of weight. So I have different sizes of clothes, different sets of clothes. Love it. Love fashion. Love fragrances. Love all that stuff. Love being able to buy things. But I tell you one thing, I had to get outside of my normal comfort zone and be able to do things that are going to help bring money in for me, to me, for me. Start putting your names on stuff. Stop sitting around waiting for people to help you, pour into you and all that. Now, if you want to work 7 days a week, getting 20 and 40 and 80 different hours of overtime, that's for you. But I tell you one thing, all that overtime is going to put you in another tax bracket, more money for Uncle Sam to tax on you. Now, what you doing with that overtime, saving that money, putting it aside for 20% on a down payment on a house, or paying your kids out of school, or paying up your car payment, or paying up your bills or whatnot, that's something different. I understand that. We need to do more of that. Paying that mortgage payment up 2-3 months ahead. Understand that. Paying that loan off, if it's a 10, 15, 20, 30-year loan, paying that car payment loan off sooner. Don't you know when you pay things off sooner, they give you a check? Yeah, they give you a check. When you pay a loan out, baby, before it's supposed to be paid out, baby, they gives you a check. I love it. I learned that by paying things off on time or ahead of time. And I put that check in saving or put that check in buying something else for me that is going to have more of a more well-rounded portfolio than sitting around here buying me some Jordans. That ain't going to do nothing for me. Right? Marla said yes. But guys, I hope this has given you some insight, more of who I am as a person, more of how I think. And I'm not saying the way I think and the way I do things is law and is the correct way and it's the best way for everybody. But I'm going to tell you something. If it got me through, baby, it'll get you through. Just shift your thinking on what you're doing and how you're doing things. And you'll be surprised at what you can do for yourself. But I will tell you one thing. I will bet on my own brown, black, like pecan, white self before I invest in anybody else. I'm pumping that money into me and what I'm trying to do. Because I don't want to be giving my money away. I don't want to be giving all my time away for something that's not going to help me long run. I'm not just thinking about what's going to happen right now. But let me tell you something. These dogs that I have, these are not cheap dogs. They do not eat kibbles and bits. They like to be pampered. They are spoiled. They like different kind of water. They drink bottled water. Like I said, they don't go outside to use the bathroom, so you know they ain't here with me, so you know I got to pick up poo-poo and put it in the trash can. But that's how I raise my dogs. That's my lifestyle. My dogs are my babies. I don't have kids. These are my babies, my fur baby. And let me tell you something. They always show me unconditional love, no matter what. Right, Mara? Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys for listening. If you don't mind, please like, share, spread the word. Share this with a friend. Share it with a family member. Share it with anyone. I would love to have more viewers and likers. Those who I have, I thank you. For my enemies that are watching, I thank you because you don't know what you did pushed life in me. What you did pushed me up. What you did gave me encouragement. I thank you for that and I love you. Please know I love you all. Be a blessing. We receive so much from the universe, from God, but we don't give out any. Be a blessing. Help others. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you guys are blessed. I hope it finds you in great spirits. If not, I hope it helps you to get in a good spirit. Your peace at the end of the day is the most precious thing that you have. Keep your peace. If you're in a situation and it's not peaceful, change it. That's on you. Change it. Invest in you. Put in you. Bet in you. Like I'm doing. I bet in me and my peace. Thank you guys. I love you. Be blessed.